To preface this for people who haven't heard it, you said what? You 50 women making $100K a year or more?
Yeah, so 5 things that
And over 30 years old?
Yeah, so 100K per year,
Yep.
right? Make 6 figures per year, 35 or older, have 6 months to 1 year of savings,
Yes.
be in shape,
Yes.
and then have had sex with 50 women.
And that's the point where you would say, okay, now it could be an intelligent decision to settle down with one woman.
Yes, because now you have not only the prerequisite finances, right, where I would consider you like an entry level, higher value guy, right?
So that women, back to my point, maybe will be open to like submitting to you more.
Yes, it'll increase the likelihood that that an average woman will submit to you and follow your lead. Then also on top of that, you don't have the wool over your eyes with like, oh, she touched my pee-pee, I want to commit to this girl. So because you have sexual experience, right? And here's the thing: people get so mad at me for saying 50 girls. So we just came from doing Valuetainment Live, right?
Yeah.
We had 20 girls there.
Yeah.
I said, all right, tell me how many dudes you think the average chick has slept with. One girl goes 7, another girl goes 20, another girl goes 50, 25 years old that have been to college and educated, blah, blah, blah.
That's the criteria.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
An average chick, 25 years old,
Okay.
etc. This is typically when women are starting to angle to potentially getting married, being taken serious by a man, right?
Yeah, 25. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say 25. So basically the average came out to about 25 bodies.
That's what women said.
That's what the women said.
Okay.
And I didn't say like your body count, your peers, women that you know around you, whether you went to school with them, your friends, family members, etc. Pretty much by the time I had all the girls answer, it came to be about 25, right? And then I asked, do you want a man who's more sexually experienced than you, or do you want to be more sexually experienced than your man? Every single girl said they want a man more sexually experienced. And then that's when I said, exactly, that's why I need 50 bitches. Because average women nowadays, regular girls, modern day women, have way more bodies than average dudes. So how the hell are you going to go ahead and commit to a girl that probably has 20, 30, 40 bodies and you have like 1 or 2? Like, because what's going to happen is when a girl's more sexually experienced than you is she's able to sell you a dream and you can't see past that because you're not experienced with women. You haven't dealt with enough of them. So I want guys to have the leverage, have the sexual experience, and be in a leadership role with the leverage with the woman. Because when women have leverage, they're terrible people. People get mad at me for saying that, but they literally are terrible people when they have leverage over a man. They'll be bitchy, annoying, cranky, rude as fuck, disrespectful. You don't want any of that. For her to get in line, she has to think, I'm with the best guy that I can get. And a lot of times your sexual experience is a component of that.
Yeah, I think that
And this is what the tradcons keep fucking up. Like the tradcons try to come at me.
What's a tradcon?
A traditional conservative. So like
Okay.
someone like for example, Ben Shapiro, went ahead and reacted to me saying that, saying like, that's ludicrous. Like having a lot of sexual partners is bad for both genders. Wrong. It's actually bad for women, not for men. Sex does not affect men the same way it does women. And again, I wish we can go back to a time where you're getting married at virgins, the families know each other, she comes from a good household, her dad was in her life, blah, blah. But those days are fucking done.
So yeah, it's something I'll agree with you on. I'm hearing that more and more. I think like Hamza has mentioned this recently that he thinks. Hamza?
Yeah.
He said, who's that?
Yeah.
He's a YouTuber. You guys know him? He's in the UK?
I'm familiar with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I get fit his videos more now that I'm in Europe. I don't know. But he's now saying, and I hear other people, maybe this is this return to tradition, rejecting modernity, and an idea where they're encouraging men like, don't even date a girl unless you're going to marry her. I don't think it's the right path to be like a man whore for your whole life, because then you're prioritizing that like over things that are more important. I tend to be more like, okay, so your list, let's say, let me go one moment. You're making 100K a year. I think that's solid.
Yeah.
Before that, you just haven't, because to make 100K a year, then you need some sort of like, you've developed your career, your business to a certain point, right?
Yeah.
That's representative of more than just
Yeah.
100K a year
Yeah.
for most people. 50 women. I mean, we could like argue the exact number.
Yeah.
But 20.
I'm
20
not saying
plus,
if you got 45,
Yeah.
whoops, sorry, babe, can't do this
Yeah.
because, but I'm saying that's a good
You've
area
had
to
some
be
experience.
in. Yeah, that's a good area.
And I still would to stick to the mindset that, and this is like the really old example, but like you don't just buy the first car you get and just drive it for the rest of your life, because maybe there's a lot of cars you'd enjoy more. I know my man Walt, he's experiencing 5 Lambos a year right now.
and the other reason too is because like you, as a man, you need to get that experience, because the reason why I say all this is because as a man, you take way more risk when you get married. So that's the thing like these tradcons don't get, is that you're basically giving people an old set of rules for a new world that doesn't work. Like if I tell you, hey man, there's a fucking gunfight going on, and I give you a 70-year-old knife and tell you go ahead and go into that gunfight, you're gonna get decimated.
Yeah,
So
it's not gonna be good.
you're gonna get decimated, and that's what the current day marketplace is, and that's what tradcons don't get. Religion, traditionalism, all these things they don't work anymore because we live in a modern world where we no longer have the buffers and the protections of tradition, two-parent households, religion, shame. All these things are out the woods. They're gone. Like girls nowadays are on TikTok talking about I suck, I do blah, blah, blah. There's zero things keeping women from being whores. So how are we going to acclimate to the new sexual marketplace? We're going to acclimate by keeping up with what's going on. You need to get more experience as a man. You need to go in there with your eyes wide open. You need to know how women really fucking move versus how you hope they move, and know that a lot of girls nowadays, by the time they're 25, have quite a bit of sexual experience, and you need to go ahead and be in the same situation so that you don't get famous. But a lot of these guys will sit there and be like, don't get in a relationship with a girl until you're ready to get married, blah, blah, blah. These tradcons aren't living in reality.
Yeah, so what you're trying to offer is not necessarily something that's bad for men or bad for women. This is like, no, this is maybe an adapted
it's an adaptation,
an updated plan.
It's an adaptation
still to get to monogamy, and perhaps a family in a traditional sense.
Yes,
but adapted to like the reality of 2023.
It's an adaptation to the new deregulated sexual marketplace where women have all the leverage and the family courts are not on your side. Period. But that's what tradcons don't get. Like someone like Ben Shapiro, right? He gets mad. Oh, 50 girls, sex is bad. It hurts both genders, you know, whatever. And I'm like,
there's some truth there, but it's out of context.
Well, for women it does significantly, but for men it's not to the same degree. And I would rather a guy goes into a relationship with his eyes wide open and knows how women really move, right? And has a little bit of trauma because he's been hurt before, etc. Versus going in, you know, oh, this is going to be great. Because the thing is that not everyone has the buffers that someone like Ben Shapiro had. He came from a very devout Jewish family. His girl is Jewish. They met through families. They met in that community. He had a bunch of things put in place for him to have a good relationship. But are most guys going to have these things?
Maybe if you're a guy who's living in, I don't know, some really rural area, really religious community, that maybe this wouldn't apply to you.
Yeah.
But for like
for the general
United
masses,
States or Western city,
dude,
it's different.
For the general masses, you got to adapt to how the sexual marketplace is. And to say, oh yeah, let's have these traditional conservative values when all these girls are, let's keep it 1,000. It's not a good move.